Okay, folks, we got content as well as context. Okay, so I uploaded a video yesterday telling you guys about a story that I could not confirm nor deny. Initially, I heard this story on a Twitter space on the shop's Twitter space, and then I was searching it, and TMZ had an article reporting that Shannon Sharpe was having whoopee or an afternoon delight, and it got recorded on IG Live. Now, I don't know if it was Shannon Sharpe directly or maybe a representative who works for Shannon Sharpe basically said that his Instagram got hacked. So I kept saying allegedly because I didn't see the the video of it. I heard a snippet of the audio, and I had to say, okay, allegedly his Instagram account probably did get hacked. Okay. Well, now the video is out. The video has gone viral. Shannon Sharpe has gone viral on social media. And Shannon Sharpe is no stranger of going viral because a couple of days ago, he went viral about Chad Johnson, which we're going to talk about that a little bit later, okay? For those who've been living under a rock, allow your boy to explain. There was a story out that Shannon Sharpe was making out with a female, and it got recorded on Instagram Live. And Shannon Sharpe, the initial story was that his Instagram got hacked, okay? When the video came out, everybody was talking about this video. Gilly and Wallow talked about it. I think Deion Sanders commented on their video. A lot of people, Bill Bellamy, everybody was, having fun with it, okay? And if you haven't seen the video, basically, you can hear Shannon Sharpe and a female in the background, and for 1 minute and 13 seconds, Shannon Sharpe was having his way, okay? He was gone in 60 seconds, folks. Now, and you can clearly hear Shannon Sharpe's voice, and he was doing a lot of pillow talk. He was all in that sauce, okay? And you can clearly tell that his wing wong got a little bit sensitive, and he had a car crash in the tunnel, all right? And basically, there was a bunch of growling. It was a bunch of howling at the moon, a bunch of pillow talk. You didn't hear no macaroni and cheese in the background, and in a minute and 13 seconds, it's just so little time to, have your way with it. All right. It was definitely some wop. We didn't hear no wop. We didn't hear no macaroni and cheese stirring in the pot. So it is what it is. 1 minute and 13 seconds. Hey, look, on a side note, I think Shannon Sharpe went RAW in the coochie. And I think that's the reason why, it only lasted 1 minute and 13 seconds. Okay. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get into the actual story. There is a video out there on social media. If you haven't seen it, I recommend you to go listen to it. It's not that long. It's only 1 minute and 13 seconds. And Shannon Sharpe talked about it on Nightcap last night. And Shannon Sharpe finally came clean and confirmed. I mean, there's no way around this, that that was him, and he was being very romantic with a female, and he laid his phone down, and his phone accidentally recorded him on Instagram Live, okay? Now, if you've been in Instagram Live, if you've been on Instagram Live is not that, it's not like it's the first thing you see once you open up the app. You have to go through several steps just to get to Instagram Live. Now, maybe, he was uploading some content, or maybe uploading a picture, or communicating with somebody. I don't know, maybe communicating with this lady. I don't know, but maybe he left the app open. And I always tell people, man, when you're on these apps, man, and when you're done, close the darn app, okay? Don't create another window. But that's neither here nor there, you know. Some people are going to learn. You're going to learn today, all right? So basically, he confessed and said, yeah, that was him. He was being very romantic with a female, which, by the way, social media is undefeated. They found the female. Now, she's denying that she was intimate with Shannon Sharpe. And I think it's twofold. Either they got the wrong person, and maybe that wasn't her, or that's her, and she's probably with somebody else. She's not with the actual person, you know, and she's probably fooling around with Shannon Sharpe, okay? Now, she's denying it. Now, there's a lot of people saying that the voice does match this woman, all right? So until we get some confirmation on whether or not this is the woman, I don't know. I care not to know, all right? It's, you know, I don't care. So Shannon Sharpe basically confessed that, yeah, that was him, and he was not hacked. He accidentally recorded. He accidentally hit the live button, and y'all saw him in 1 minute and 13 seconds having fun in the coochie sun, all right? And he said all this and he apologized. He said it was embarrassing to his team at Nightcap and Club Shay Shay, embarrassing for ESPN, his partnerships with The Volume, his sponsors, the people that he hired for both of his YouTube channels, Nightcap and Club Shay Shay, the podcast, you know, even Chad Johnson. Now, Chad Johnson, and to me, a lot of people are not going to give Chad Johnson any credit in this, because and this is the part I wanted to talk about earlier in the video, you know, Shannon Sharpe went viral twice, okay? Shannon Sharpe went viral for this, but then a couple of days ago, he went viral because he had a little spat with Chad Johnson about him being late, and then he was chastising Chad Johnson on Nightcap with the masses watching, and recommending Chad Johnson to change his ways, be a little bit more professional, hold some accountability on yourself. You know, he was chastising Chad Johnson, and Chad Johnson stood up for himself and said that, you know, there's more than one way to skin a cat. You know, you may, you know, just because you take it seriously, and, you know, that doesn't mean I don't take it seriously. We just move in different ways, but at the end of the day, the finished product speaks for itself, okay? Basically, that's what Chad Johnson said. And Chad Johnson had an opportunity to lecture Shannon Sharpe and tell him, you need, you know, start telling him, you know, go into his bag of, you need to be more professional. You should have hold yourself accountability a little sooner. You know, you're trying to, at the beginning, you were trying to deflect blame, trying to say you was hacked and this, that, and the third. You know, he could have went into his bag and, you know, jumped on top of Shannon Sharpe, and there was really nothing Shannon Sharpe can do about it but sit there and take it, all right? But instead, Chad Johnson showed a level of immaturity, a level of responsibility, a level of accountability, and basically it just flowed off his back, okay? And he also showed, and I don't know if you know, Shannon Sharpe's a smart guy. He also showed Shannon Sharpe how loyal he is to Shannon Sharpe, and he was not going to chastise Shannon Sharpe. And Shannon Sharpe should appreciate that, because Chad Johnson could have just went in and started to unleash on Shannon Sharpe. So Shannon Sharpe should appreciate what Chad Johnson showed Shannon Sharpe grace when Shannon Sharpe couldn't show Chad Johnson grace a couple of days ago. All right. So that's one thing. So another thing about this, and I would not went this route, but I do understand why Shannon Sharpe didn't want to admit that he accidentally did this. This was this was on his watch. He was not hacked. And I think the reason why he quickly used that excuse was he was looking at his immortality, particularly with social media, with ESPN, with his partnerships, and he was saying all this could be gone in 60 seconds, like that minute and 13 seconds of fun he had with that female. All the stuff that he worked hard for years would have been gone in a snap of a finger in 60 seconds, all right? And then I'm pretty sure he started thinking about, well, man, ESPN fired Paul Pierce for far less. Remember when Paul Pierce got fired from ESPN because he was on an Instagram live and there was girls twerking in the background, and he was on the sauce a little bit. He wasn't totally drunk, but ESPN thought that was a bad look for them, and they let go of Paul Pierce. Now I will say this: Shannon Sharpe, Paul Pierce. Shannon Sharpe is a bigger media personality than Paul Pierce. Plus, there was at the end of Paul Pierce's contract. Now, would have done the same thing to Shannon Sharpe if there was at the end of Shannon Sharpe's contract? If Shannon Sharpe was not producing and wasn't giving them the numbers, wasn't giving them the viewership, and they're going like he's more problems for us than keeping him, then possibility that could have happened. But look, Shannon Sharpe, Paul Pierce, there's no competition with it. Okay, you knew which way they was going to lean towards. All right, so I'm thinking Shannon Sharpe thought that, hey, all the stuff that I'm working hard for, the years, the sacrifices I took, the chances I took, could have been gone. I gambled on myself and I won, but all this could be wiped away in less than 60 seconds, okay? Which is not as long as the minute and 13 seconds he had with this female, all right? So I could understand where he was coming from, but me personally, I would have fell on the sword immediately, because look, at the end of the day, it's your mistake, all right? You just can't say I'm ignorant, I'm not technical savvy, I didn't mean for it to happen. Ignorance can't be your excuse on why you made a mistake. You need to own up to your mistakes. Remember, he would have these conversations and telling a lot of people to own up to their mistakes, but when it's his turn to own up to a mistake, he refuses to do it. Okay, he even doubles down. Remember the situation with the Memphis Grizzlies? The only reason why he finally admit responsibility to that, because the powers to be at Fox Sports 1 told him to do that. Okay, he didn't do it in his good graces. All right, and there's a lot of things that he was wrong on, and he just continued to double down on it. Okay, even with the Chad Johnson situation, a leader, if you're saying that you're a better leader or a better version of a leader than Chad Johnson, and you're more professional than Chad Johnson, if this is the belief you have, then a day later, after you see social media just trouncing you, you should just own up and you just say, okay, I'll take it on the chin. It's pause. I'll take it on the chin. I'm the leader. Could I've handled that situation differently? Probably. All right. And just kept it pushing and kept it moving. Instead, you doubled down on it, Shannon Sharpe. All right. But that, to me, that showed a bigger level of maturity from Chad Johnson. And I got to admit, I was wrong on Chad Johnson, because when I did a video talking about it, I said, well, Chad Johnson can be frustrating, and he has moved from job to job, and maybe he hasn't shown the growth and development of maturity, and maybe they just can't depend on, and that's the reason why he bounces from job to job. And but at the end of the day, I said that I agree with everything Shannon Sharpe said. However, I did not agree on how he wanted to be vocal about it. I think all of that conversation should have been handled away from the cameras. That, if y'all two are good friends, y'all could have went out to a restaurant, a 5-star restaurant, and you could have been vocal on your issues with Chad Johnson, and be like, and handle them like two adults, okay? Now, I also said in that video, maybe he has been doing that and we don't know that, and Chad Johnson is not responding that way, and maybe he thought embarrassing him live and direct he would finally see the light, but it just backfired on him. And, it only made Chad Johnson the next day. Now, I think this was a prank. The next day, he still came late. And I think it was a prank, but just to let Shannon Sharpe know that, it's not that deep, it's not that serious. But I was still leaning towards Shannon Sharpe. But after this incident, and how Chad Johnson handled it, that showed a lot of levels, a lot of big levels of accountability, maturity, and leadership from Chad Johnson. And leadership, you could be a leader in different ways. You could be the one that always, the argumentative person, the yeller, the leader. You can be the quiet leader. You could be the philosophical leader. You could be the leader that leads by example. There are a lot of levels of leadership, okay? And I remember Shannon Sharpe saying, well, people should really reevaluate Michael Jordan's leadership qualifications, because all he did was intimidated and bullied his teammates to do better. And he was very vocal about, I wouldn't lead that way. And he was, commenting on how LeBron James' leadership is different from Michael Jordan. Okay. And LeBron James, no mistake to LeBron James, he's been very successful. He, and he's very mature, and the proof is in the pudding. He has taken a lot of teams to the NBA Finals. And he has won a lot and have won titles that way. But when you look at Michael Jeffrey Jordan, he took a lot of the way how he took a lot of players that had no business being in the NBA Finals and winning. All right. And when them players went on to other teams, the proof is in the pudding. They couldn't, they didn't have the same level of success when it was with Michael Jordan. I'm not discounting those players, but what I'm trying to say is LeBron James' way of leadership is different from Michael Jordan. But is LeBron James, the way how LeBron James handled things is a better route, a better way than Michael Jordan? No, I'm not going to say that. All right. And I'm not going to say it the other way around. I'm not going to say Michael Jordan's leadership is better than the way how LeBron James handled things. Okay. So, yeah, that's all I got for today. I really do appreciate everyone listening to my videos, subscribing to my channel. I really do appreciate commenting in the comment section. I always tell you guys, the comment section is your guys' domain. It is what it is. Rate, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys on the flip side of things. Deuces.